What up, what up, what up, y'all? It's your boy B. Hey, I wanted to do this amazing video on how to use modern modern medicine with faith. This is a really good topic. I've had a lot of people that's been inboxing me in regards to, using faith in all areas of your life. Now, here's the thing. I would say I'm almost an adolescent in the understanding of I wouldn't call it new thought, but law of attraction and manifesting things through your thought. So I've been consciously at it for, I would say, since about 2008. So I would say I'm about 10 years old in understanding, to the ability that we all have and what scripture talks about, reading scripture for the understanding of how to use my mind, as opposed to you're holier than thou, how we're taught when we were younger. So how to use modern medicine with faith. I always want to say that modern medicine, you have a lot of people that talk about just use faith, speak to your mountain. They say that I'm going to talk about some people have one of the most feared words in the English language is the word cancer. And so, people, when they're introduced to this new thought, a new way of thinking, they say, well, just think that you're healed, think that, it's gone away. But you have so many years of, not being developed in this faith. And so if you have so many years of not being developed in this understanding, you're talking about digging up a root of an oak tree. And so, if your faith is in, believing in something else, and you've planted that seed many years ago, or your parents planted a seed in you many years ago, that, things just happen and you have no control over it. And then you're introduced to this new way of thinking, this new way of understanding, and you begin to apply it today, and you don't get the results of healing that you've been speaking over your life. It's simply because you have a more of a negative rooted belief, because it's whatsoever you believe. So your belief is so deeply rooted in the opposite of what you want. You're not producing the fruit or the manifestation of what it is that you are calling for. So I want to talk to you about how to use medicine with faith. And this is a really important understanding as you begin to exercise these new principles. If you are in the harrismastermind.com, we give a lot of mental food and practices and homework for you to keep building your faith, the harrismastermind.com. But as you apply this, I want you to understand how to use medicine, because medicine, believe it or not, medicine can't heal you. But it is your belief in medicine that can heal you. So understanding how to use this. So what medicine typically does for the modern human being is it eases the pain, and it takes away the pain, and it gives your mind the freedom to come off of the pain or the situation that you're in. And then it is at that moment where you start calling those things that are not. Okay, so, we talked about how you look at your situation typically, and many people tend to call those things that are. If a doctor tells you have a specific disease or illness or whatever the case may be, you call your friends and you tell them all of the news that you just got in detail. Oh, they said you got this and they got this, and you're going into detail about it. My point is, don't talk about that stuff, man. Don't let that stuff come out of your mouth. Your casual conversations will keep you sicker and in more poverty than anything else that you can ever do. So, because what tends to happen is when you put that seed or that word out there in other people, they bury you before you even get buried in the ground. You let people bury you before you even get buried in the ground, because they start preparing for your own funeral because you spoke it. So you got to understand that you got to call those things that be not. And so that means that, when they tell you, if you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you something and your friends call to check on you out, don't even tell them about your doctor appointment, number one. But if you slipped up and told them about your doctor appointment, you go ahead and speak those things. Oh, everything was fine. Oh man, they had great news. Go ahead and speak those things. You ain't lying. You claiming truth, and the truth shall set you free. So you claim the truth over your situation. You speak over your situation. And what happens is when you start taking the medicine that the doctors administer to you, then use that medicine, that freedom to think, that freedom that takes your mind off the pain, to start speaking this abundance over your life. I have these specific, I posted some in the harrismastermind.com last night, how to speak to the cells in your body, how to speak to the muscle tissues and the organs in your body to perform at the perfect functioning that God intended them to perform at. And so to cast down anything that goes against that. And so as you start to speak these things repeatedly, what happens is you get a churning. I don't know if you understand how an alternator works or in an engine. I'm not really too versed in the mechanic world, but an alternator works. What it does is the churning, it powers up. So what you have to do is you got to speak it out of your mouth. And when you speak it out of your mouth, you rotate it into your heart. You speak it out of your mouth and you rotate it in your heart. You speak it out of your mouth, you rotate it in your heart. And then you speak it in your heart. You speak it out of your mouth, it gets in your heart, and then you speak it from your heart, and it gets in your mouth. You speak it from your heart, and it gets in your mouth, it gets in this ether. So when it comes from the heart, whatsoever you believe in your heart, as you speak it out, you're speaking faith-filled words now. Because once you believe it in your heart, you start to get it, and you start to manifest more. So use the medicine to free up your mind. And as you free up your mind from the pain, you're not focused on the old you. You're focusing on, you're taking that mental understanding to focus on the new you. And you get a generating force of out of your mouth, in your heart, out of your mouth, in your heart. And you keep rotating that thing until it develops so much power on the inside of you. You're connecting yourself, your voice, to the universal link, which is the heart, which is the emotion. And it is the emotion, the belief in the emotion, that draws anything to you. See, if you keep speaking this stuff to your friends, the undesirable events, you're speaking it out of your mouth and getting it in your heart, and speaking it out of your mouth and getting it in your heart. And so what you're getting is a reflection of what you have in your heart. So what you got to do is you got to reverse that conversation. You got to reverse that conversation to speak life over your situation. And as you speak life over your situation, as you take that medicine, feel better, and then start speaking that thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Let that be your only conversation. Scripture talks about pray without ceasing. What I'm telling you is to shut off all news, shut off all radio, shut off all friends and family members, and go into some silence. And get in that silence and start writing down scriptures that go with what you're saying. Okay? Write down scriptures, write down words. I am healthy. I am optimal health. I have great news. I went to my doctor and he told me great news. Made me feel so good. And you start speaking this thing. There was this lady. I talked about this in the group. And this lady, of course, they told her she was diagnosed. I'm telling you something, man. When they diagnose you or tell you something, anything, don't accept that stuff, man. Don't accept it. Yeah, I ain't got, no, your equipment wrong. And what I'm telling you is it's something about how magnificent our God is. It's something about how magnificent it is. He'll make that machine have a malfunction and say, oh, I'm so sorry, man. They'll call you back with the best news that you confirmed it was already that way anyway. They say, I'm sorry, the machine was malfunctioned and we gave you the wrong information. Your test results came back perfectly fine. I don't know how he does it, but the great thing about this world is the how is not my jurisdiction. I ain't got to know how, but I do know that if I have faith within my heart, and whatever it is that I'm speaking out of my mouth, he will produce it in this matter. So he teaches us how to speak to all of our mountains. He teaches us how to speak to all of our mountains. But you use this modern medicine that they give you to relieve the pain. See, you had a belief that medicine heals you. So accept that belief until you can develop your faith in the understanding of it ain't the medicine. It's your belief in the medicine. And as you understand that anything that you believe you receive, you will start to speak it, believe it, and receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Start developing this faith. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Say that thing over and over and over again. I speak it, I believe it, I receive it. And so now as you start to speak things, you believe things, and you receive things, and you begin to manifest faster. This has to be a daily thing, every second of the day thing, and get it in your heart, guys. It's your boy B, reminding each and every one of you to be great, reminding each and every one of you to win big for yourselves and your family. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'm out.